whenever. Yeah,
All right, we're live.
we are. Okay, so hi and welcome to our video. Today, my co-host Tagg and my name is Roger. We are going to do something a little different in that the houses that we are showing you are two houses on the same street and in the same city, Charleston, West Virginia. They're both priced at $7,500. I'm guessing that it's possible the same person owns them. I'm guessing it's possible the same realtor is listing them. I don't know. There's a possibility you could purchase both for $1,500 or less if they accept whatever offer that you give them. But anyway, we don't have any interior photos of either house, so we get to look at the outside and we get to make projections on what's going on inside. Usually with Tagg and I, we're concerned about what the kitchen looks like, what the bathroom, singular or plural, looks like. Beyond that, it's not a big deal to fix, some ceiling issues, some wall issues with drywall, some flooring issues, particularly depending on the period that the house was built. Often there's some hardwood floors, for homes that were built in the appropriate era underneath whatever was added afterwards. So, that's often a bonus. To be honest, I don't know when either one of these houses were built, so I don't know if that's a possibility or not. But here we are. We're talking about houses that they're affordable, and that's because we both agree. I don't know if you noticed, Tagg is a slightly younger person than myself by like a long time, and I'm slightly older by a long time, old white guy. So we got different ideas about stuff. It's actually pretty amusing to me some days when we talk about these houses that we review, and she says what she would do with them, and she asks me for comments and I say what I would do with them. It's actually pretty funny to me. So I've got a lot of enjoyment out of these videos that we've been creating. Anyway, so today we're looking in Charleston, West Virginia on West Washington Street. The first one is a house at 2228 West Washington Street. It's 960 square feet. It's on a 5,663 square foot lot, which is not a small lot, but it does look like it's a decent sized lot for the size of the house from the photo that we can see at the front of it. I'm not sure if I mentioned it yet, and you guys should understand, or I hope you'll understand. When we review these houses, I've scrolled through the photos of them prior to bringing them to Tagg. 99% of the time, she's never seen them before, which has also been really, really amusing sometimes when she sees something for the first time. And it's kind of startling. So that has been fun. Anyway, so we've only got two photos of this house. The outside of the front, I actually can't remember what the other photo is of it, but 960 square feet, 5,663 foot square lot, and $7,500, and you're all in. You own your own home. You're not going to get a mortgage for that amount. Chances are it wouldn't even qualify for one because one of four things may be wrong with it. Generally, you want to have a functional roof to get homeowners insurance so that you can get a mortgage. Sometimes, your roof will not pass the inspection required to do that. And then that does not take into consideration HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. Both of those plumbing and electrical things have built-in problems depending on the era in which the house was constructed. There have been some problematic practices with supply lines and drain lines for plumbing, copper lines versus aluminum lines for electrical. So you got to pay attention when the house was built to know whether you've got a concern. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now so that Tagg, who has good things to say, Will it be able to? Because I haven't shut up yet.
I don't know. I don't. Just looking at this first picture here, um, all I can see is just a gorgeous, fertile ground. I mean, look at that grass.
Very green.
Uh, very green. Yes, very green. So, you know, I don't. I don't know if I would consider this as a tear down or not. But I do find it, it's 960 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. So I look for possibilities of either adding on because the ground itself looks very fertile for any type of earthing or homesteading. And um, it appears as though you can add up on this home. The lot is a corner lot. I think that you're getting a little bit more for the buck here because it is on a corner and you can, sometimes the corners are accessible, not heavily zoned, but this kind of looks like as though it is zoned where you don't have access to utilize the corner. However, if you're building and well, let me just go on here because this is, I mean, we've already kind of sucked up some time. So anyway, this is one photo, and you can see here that there is a little
Ed,
storage
maybe?
here to the back, a shed maybe, or maybe it's a credenzilla. I don't know. But you can extend on the side in case you do want to remove this or relocate it to a different part of the yard, and you can build up. You don't have a lot of trees around, so you don't have to worry about cutting any trees or anything like that. But it is doable as far as expansion. So I wouldn't rule this house out just because there's this siding here. I mean, you can always replace this. And with the price point being the way it is, it makes it affordable. So let's jump over here to the street view of it and see what we got. The structure might be very, very nice. The inside just might need to be gutted. But I wouldn't rule it out. I would want to see the inside of the property just to get an idea of what type of budget I would need in order to renovate this home. I also look at the area as well. Oh, okay. Well, in this view, you do have some side trees in the yard, which provide shading. Um, I would probably see if I could plant some additional ones outside here or just one. You just never know what the zoning like is in the area, so you got to do your due diligence. Panning the street here, I can tell that this is an older neighborhood. It looks depressed, meaning that job potentials being in or opportunities being in the area might not be there. However, you can create jobs or even just a business to employ people in the community. One thing about mom and pop stores that don't get enough credit is that they're in the community, they bring people in the community, which creates growth for the community. Even though mom and pop entrepreneurships are taxed heavily, they contribute to the community. Children have a place to go. Moms have things to do. Dads have things to do. It's family oriented. So those are things to keep in mind versus a business district. A business district, when those businesses decide to leave, they just leave a shell of a business behind with no community. So I'm pro community. I am pro local business. That's just the way how I feel. And looking at the sign of the times today, that is one thing that we are lacking is community. Because at the end of the day, it's all about people helping people. How many government organizations kind of leave you high and dry? You got to think of those things. So, anyway, if you have any comments, this would be the best place to add them.
Okay. You don't mean me, right?
That would be you. Yes. So we only have two photos here.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yes.
I have actually nothing to say that is in disagreement with what Tagg has stated. You know, I would probably do the same thing, same things. I would do whatever repairs were necessary um, to bring it up to, I guess, like a common standard for people to live in. If our if our not inspection, but if we came to the house with a realtor to view it, that's not called an inspection. That's a viewing. Inspection has negative connotation. But anyway, I would just want to make it a house that, people that I know and like and respect could come by and see and go, this is a good looking house. As long as I accomplish that goal, then, I'm happy with it. So that's what I would do. Anyway, so you ready to step off to the other property? Do you want to do any more with this one?
I am ready to move on. As a matter of fact, here is the first photo. And if you want to talk about the credentials of the home, the information about the home, that would be great.
Okay, 2 bedroom, 1 bath house, 720 square feet, so it's smaller than the previous one, but on a larger lot, 6,098 square feet lot. So you got a bigger backyard. I'm sorry, a bigger yard, period. It's for sale for the same price. It's on the same street as the previous house we looked at, just a couple blocks away. Um, and what I see is, I think I see a parking place underneath the house. So the first thing that comes to my mind is getting a structural engineer to check this out, make sure it's safe, make sure it doesn't need any kind of uh, reinforcement support. And if it's good, then all the better. I'm all about covered parking and closed parking. So I like that a lot. It looks like we've got a nice deck area that you also would be able to enjoy. I think it's possible that is an above ground pool there right outside the house between that lattice on the left and that kind of deck that's not very high on the right, which I think is probably not going to be in what's the word I'm looking for? It wouldn't pass inspection.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was thinking of compliance.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. So with all that being said, pay for the inspection, make sure that structurally sound. Then after that, I'm thinking, just a little bit of I'm trying to think of a snarky way to say it needs to be repaired. The doors do so that it will open, um, and then whatever else is needed to be done. I kind of like it. I don't know if it's just me, and I've personally never lived in West Virginia, but I actually have heard that Charleston, West Virginia, is a thriving area. It's a good place to live. I think this gives you a foothold into a great community. I could be wrong. Tagg will tell you that she's known of me being wrong on many occasions in my lifetime, that she's known me. With that being said, What do you got to say about it?
We're all wrong, you know. We're just trying to figure life out still. Just keeps throwing us curveballs, and you know we can dodge them or throw them back. You know, so it's just the way how you see it, I guess. But anyway, I'm liking the way how this looks too. I think it is full of character, and I think you're right about getting a construction engineer in there to see, or a foundation engineer to see how sturdy this foundation is. But this is unique to me. I like unique. I'm a little odd, so I'm all right with that.
So it's
But
probably okay to tell you that I would be thinking, if it tests out okay, to do some more digging and enlarge the space for more parking slash basement space, because that's coming to my mind. I actually was hesitant to say so, but yeah,
yeah, I mean, look how deep this lot is. I mean, this looks
good size
really
lot.
deep. Yeah, I would consider. I like the way how this slopes over here.
Uh-huh.
However, you know, the further back you dig in this garage, you can easily dig out a basement. And here we go. I mean, there's so many possibilities.
That's what I was
And
thinking.
yeah, you can dig out most of this ground if possible, and have and you know create another living space. You can build on top of the ground. You can build on top of the house as long as it's safe, struct, you know, for construction. Um, but without getting a professional in there to see if this is something that you can do. I mean, I believe it's okay to dream, and to have a home on the same block for the same amount of money, $7,000. You know, you just
7,500.
7,500. My bad. Like, look at this house next door. I mean, look at that. That looks. It's doable. This gives me ideas. A
The
retaining wall. You know, the list goes on and on and on. But instead of thinking of what community you can fit in, ask yourself what you can offer the community. Because if you know someone else that is in need of a home or thinking about relocating, you can start making your own community and bring them in. I mean, what better way to give back other than say, hey, community, I have another friend or family member that's a really decent person that could add to this community and build it up.
Absolutely.
And instead of thinking, oh, well, is this something, is this a cookie cutter community that I'm going to have to try to keep up with the Joneses to fit in? Or
Definitely not.
create a community worth creating? You see where I'm going with this? But anyway, the street view of this, let's check it out.
I like
I
the
find that
idea. I like the idea of embracing the weirdness and
embracing the weirdness. Exactly. But look at this
being
cute
that.
little building over here. This would be great for a business,
It
you
would,
know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
your commute would be short.
Your commute would be short. Exactly. And look how long this building is. Co-ops are becoming very popular because basically we're being priced out of a lifestyle. So pairing up with people to create a community that you're not going to be priced out of, that you can actually share in and do profit sharing, that's appealing to me. And I think it breeds all kind of opportunities. So
And to Tag's point, I think when you do that, you're going to want to have ownership of it so that some random landlord could buy it and jack your rent so that it's
exactly.
untenable. So, with that being said, are we there on our video today?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
we're we're about done. And so
Oh,
this one here is also a corner lot, and it looks as though it's not right on a busy street, but you have access to a main street of a smaller town. And there's something to be said about those smaller towns. They're very welcoming, and if you don't get in there and cut up too bad, you can build something great. You know.
I have no problem with relocating myself. Um, actually wonder after we've done this videos for a year or so where we'll both be. I mean, am I going to still be here where I moved to from Texas in 2021? Are you still going to be where you're at? I wonder if one of these houses are going to check all our boxes, and we're going to be the ones to strike while the iron's hot, so to speak. But
Yeah.
anyway, for today, I think what I want to say in my own closing comments that I want to thank you for listening and listening to us, watching our video. Hopefully, because we're so different and have different ideas on what a house requires, what we would want in a house to live in it, that we're able to, in discussion of it in our video, provide you, the viewer, with something that maybe you find helpful in your own home search. So, bottom line is, we wish you the very best in your home search. And we thank you for being here, watching us. And I'll hand things back to Tagg to close us out for today.
Yes. So if you're into homesteading or DIYs, this channel is dedicated to that. And so, your next dream home could be one project away. And you know how I feel. At the end of the day, it's about people helping people. That's where your true value comes from. And so, with that note, we will catch you next video.